Anxiety really sucks, no doubt about it, and we can't make it go away completely, but we can make it a little bit easier to live with. So here's 5 tips for coping with anxiety that you can use every day. Before we get started, if you're new here, I am too. I'm Nicola, I'm an occupational therapist, and I make videos about mental health and living your best life. That's so cringe. Tip number 1, know yourself. Knowledge is power when it comes to anxiety, unless that knowledge comes from Google searching your symptoms. You know what I mean. You need to know both what anxiety is as a condition and also how it affects you personally, what's going on for you in your body. If you can set aside some time to reflect and look back on the moments where you've had bad episodes of anxiety and try to see if a pattern or a theme emerges, then you can start to identify these as your possible triggers. The more you know, the more you can be prepared. Again, this isn't about trying to remove anxiety completely, because we can't, we're human. It's about recognising, understanding and minimising your symptoms so that you can manage anxiety like a pro. Tip number 2 is ditch the coffee. Okay, I know I'm singling out coffee here, but what I really mean is stimulants in general. Anything that gives us that kind of buzzy feeling and adds to that already existing swarm of bees that's happening in our bodies. When we have alcohol, coffee, caffeine drinks, loads of sugar, what we're doing is spiking our energy levels, and it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But then inevitably it crashes and just feeds into that cycle of us feeling rubbish and on edge afterwards. You don't have to cut everything out and be miserable, just minimise the things that make you feel up and then down, and see if you feel any better for it. Tip number 3 is know how to breathe. And I'm talking about the good stuff. I'm talking about the belly breathing, the stuff that's really going to calm us down. If we can teach ourselves what proper breathing feels like, then we can use it to calm ourselves down next time when we have all of those delightful anxiety symptoms. Catch yourself every so often and notice how you're breathing. You're probably breathing quite shallow breaths, maybe shoulders going up and down, chest inflating. Now try to change it to belly breathing and see what happens after a round of 5 breaths or so. If you place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, try to breathe in through your belly so that it expands when you're taking the in breath and contracts when you're taking the out breath. Trying to breathe when you're really in a panic is so hard, and sometimes all of that stuff goes out the window, but trying to bring it back to those belly breaths, even just that sensation of breathing in and out. Another really useful thing as well is counting the breath. Maybe breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 7, and then breathing out for a count of 8 or so. Trying to hold the inhale and then have a slightly longer exhale. Both of these, you're really focusing on the breath, and focusing on the breath is the most important power tool for managing anxiety. Tip number 4 is get outside. Getting outside gives us that change of perspective. We can see more, feel more, smell more. It takes us out of our own heads, and sometimes that's what we need when anxiety is really crippling us. So we know we need to move more to get us out of a slump, but if we're moving and we're doing that outside, then double whammy. So get outside, take a breath of fresh air, and your anxiety will thank you for it. Tip number 5, phone a friend. This is about having someone who you can talk to, who really knows you, really understands what you're going through, so that they can help to reassure you when you need it most. If you're having a bit of a panic or you're caught up in an anxiety tornado, sometimes you just need someone who knows you to be like, hey, you're okay, you've been through this before, you can go through it again, you're just having a bad anxiety attack. Just breathe, I promise you, you're not dying. All of those helpful, reassuring things that you might be able to tell someone else, or you might be able to tell yourself if you weren't experiencing it right now. It also helps if someone that you're physically with kind of knows and understands about your anxiety, in case you do get into a panic and the people around you don't know what's going on and they start panicking too, and that just feeds into your anxiety even further. You know, you don't have to tell everybody, but just telling 1 or 2 few people, or the people that you spend the most of your time with, can really help you when those incidents happen. Everyone is different. Some people may want the reassurance, some people may want a distraction, some people may just want someone to sit with them, or some people may want absolutely no one around them at all. Find out what works for you and let someone know about it so that they can be there for you, or away from you. So there's the 5 tips. Know yourself, ditch the coffee, learn how to breathe, get outside and talk to someone who knows you well. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll get to keep making more videos. Come on mate, get out.